Blessings, beautiful people. Welcome. How are you guys doing? I am super excited because just many things. We're in the beginning of autumn. I love this time of the year where it's sunny outside, it's not so hot, it's a beautiful autumn day. And this means that I'm actually changing a lot of my lock care routines to kind of adapt to the seasons of autumn and winter. So I've been looking at my routines and checking out different areas that I love to do. And in my recent video, I was talking about the 5 things that you need to lock your hair with, and brushing was one of them. And this is actually something that I'm reviewing in my own lock journey, and I will get into that later in the video. But this is what this video is all about. I'm just going to try and really pack this video up with as many tips and as many things that has worked for me, and maybe you can try some of them and see if it works for you, especially as we're all different. Some things might work, some things might not, but I'm hoping that I will inspire someone out there with some of these tips and how it's really worked for me. And for me, brushing has been an amazing experience. But before I get into all of that, I want to say a big welcome, a huge welcome to all the new subscribers. For some reason, in the past 2 or 3 videos, I've had a steady stream of new subscribers. So welcome. Thank you for getting into my channel, finding my channel, and actually exploring it, taking the time to watch these videos. And I also want to say a huge thank you to those of you who've supported me right at the beginning of my YouTube journey, even before then in my past lives on MySpace, on Naturality. I've connected with, quite a few people from back in the day, my past lives online, where I've shared my journey in different formats, different forms. And for me, YouTube is all about sharing in a more kind of authentic way, where I can actually read your comments and share on a much more personal level as well. In this video, I have so much to get through. I'm going to try and get through all the things that I've written down. I've got my crystal with me. I've got my my yerba mate, which is amazing, by the way. If you're looking for an alternative to coffee, yerba mate is amazing. I'll put the link below. But I'm well prepared for sharing these tips with you guys. And as I have done with previous videos where I know it might be a little bit longish, in other words, I would try and make it as compact as possible, but it might actually be a little bit longer than normal videos. I will put some timestamps below in the comments and description box. So in future, if you've watched this video and you want to return to anything specific, you can just click on the timestamp for a specific section and it will take you straight to that section of the video. So hopefully you'll find this helpful for just maneuvering your way around these tips, and it will be more practical for you to search as well. So brushing. Let's start off with why it's even something that you want to consider doing. I know for me, in the very beginning of my journey with my first set of locks, I thought that when I started locking, I will no longer need to have another brush or another comb in my life again. And was I wrong? Yes, I was, because brushing has actually been something that I really recommend many people to do. But before I say anything else, I would also like to say as a big kind of flashing important sign that if you are starting your locks, if you are in the baby lock stage or the teenage lock stage, don't brush your locks. Just wait until your locks are mature enough, because this is not the time to be experimenting with brushes. The reason I say this is because if you are in those beginning stages, your hair is trying to lock up, the last thing you want to do is brush your locks out, brush your hair out of your locks, and kind of reverse the whole process of locking in the first place. So don't try it. It's not worth it. I've tried it on my first set of baby locks and it really didn't help. So that's just an important side note to mention. But if you are at that stage where you're thinking about exploring brushing, I highly recommend it if your locks are mature enough, because it helps your locks be healthy by removing lint, so your locks are lint free. It also distributes a lot of moisture and natural oils around your locks, especially if you're spritzing your locks with beautiful products or oils or something that you want to distribute around your locks. Brushes are great for that. It's also great for the scalp, so if you take the time to brush your scalp, it's great for blood circulation. And the most important thing is it feels really, really good. That's one of the things that I love about brushing. It feels great, and I use it actually like a self-care routine. It's not so much just about caring for my locks, it just feels really good. When I'm taking that time to brush my locks, I'm taking that space to take care of my locks. It's almost like I'm returning that energy back to me. I'm taking care of myself or recharging my energy, and it almost feels like a little bit of a meditation. I know everyone will experience this in different ways. For me, brushing my locks feels like a self-care meditation in itself. So it's a beautiful thing to do, and I highly recommend to try it and see if it works for you. So a common question that I get is, how often should I brush my locks? This is a personal choice. I love to brush my locks during the shower. So if I'm actually washing my locks or rinsing my locks, after I've done all the washing and rinsing, then I will brush my locks in the shower, especially my scalp. I use it like a time to massage my scalp using a lock brush, and it feels really amazing. It just feels really therapeutic. So that's one time that I love to do it. I also like to do it regularly after I spritz my locks and after I have damp locks from the shower. So anytime my locks are damp, that is when I will brush my locks. Let's talk about choosing a brush. This is the brush that I have. It's a bit worn out, but this is the brush that I've been using for many years. Same model. I buy it every year. I think I replace it, and this is the BBB that I use. I call it BBB because it's easier to say. It's boar bristle brush, and it's a natural brush with boar bristles. Now when you're choosing a brush, these are really easy to find in most shops that sell black hair products. In the comb section, where they sell combs and brushes, you will probably find so many different styles of these, different handles, different types of bristles. If you are thinking about buying this type of brush, you will see that the main two types of BBBs are hard and soft. Choose the soft one because you don't want to be doing anything or using a brush that is too hard on your locks and actually causing damage. So I always choose the soft version. Also look at the handle as well and try the handle out in the shop, because as you know, with natural hair, sometimes we do take our time to go through different sections of our locks and our hair, and it's just important to feel comfortable when you're holding your brush, or choose a handle that feels comfortable for you. And the most important tip that I found was, when you're choosing a brush, try it at the back of your hand. So take the back of your hand, take the brush in the shop, and try combing the back of your hand. And you can actually see if it's too harsh or too soft for your locks. It should feel firm enough that you know it's going to be a really good brush, but it shouldn't feel rough or itchy. It shouldn't even leave any marks. I remember one time I went into a shop and there was a BBB, a boar bristle brush, and it was a hard one, and I tried it at the back of my hand and I was left with like scratches at the back of my hand. So that was a huge no-no. So from then onwards, I always made a point of trying it at the back of my hand, and this told me straight away if it was a brush that I wanted to use. So if you can get a brush or choose a brush in an actual shop, please do so, because that's the best way to find the right brush for you. If not, what I will do is I will link this brush from Amazon below, so you can see what kind of brush it is. And if you have to buy a brush online, maybe choose something with the word soft in it, you know, soft bristle, whatever the name of the brush is. But make sure the bristles are soft, or you can even choose a baby brush. I know some lockers have chosen baby brushes and they say that it works really well. Now that I've actually mentioned what kind of brush I use, I'm actually thinking about changing my brush. So this is a question to you guys. As a part of sharing where I am in my journey, I'm actually looking for a brush that works just as well as this one, but is vegan. So basically it doesn't have any animal bristles in it. I know there's some with cactus bristles, and I think there were other types of fibers as well that worked really well. But if anyone out there actually knows combs that use like plant-based bristles and are natural, please let me know, because this has been so amazing, and I would definitely recommend it. But I'm at a stage in my life where I'm also looking to find vegan products, vegan items, and share that with you guys as well. So if you know of any brushes, please share in the comment section below. If I do find anything, I will update everybody on here, and I will put it in the description box. So this is part of an ongoing journey for me, as well as I find new brushes to explore and share. I wanted to mention a very important thing as part of the lock brushing routine. Please, please, please don't forget to keep your brushes clean. It will not only help your brushes last a lot longer if you take care of them, but it will also help your locks as well, because if you really think about it, why would you want to return any lint, any dust, any old hair back into your locks in future? The last thing you want to do is return all of that stuff that you combed out the last time and put it back into your locks. So after you finish brushing your locks, it's well worth spending a few minutes just rinsing out your brush, making sure that you're removing any lint, any hair, anything that's collected from your session, and cleaning it out completely so the next time you use it, it's completely clean. Okay, so let's move on to the part about how to actually brush your locks. This is a personal thing. Everyone is going to enjoy brushing their locks differently, and with practice and time, you will find the way that you love to brush your locks. It also depends on how long your locks are, the thickness, the volume, etc. So I'll just share what works for me, and how I've kind of modified it over time as my locks got longer, and also as my locks got thicker. So you can choose to brush from the scalp, downwards. This is something that I prefer to do. Every time I'm brushing my locks, I do a downward motion. So usually from the scalp, I will hold my locks, a section of my locks, I will place it against the palm of my hand, and I will just brush downwards. So like a sweeping motion, and just work my way down all the way to the bottom. Don't know if you can see it on the camera. And that's it. I would just keep doing that a few times, and then I will work my way around my scalp. As it gets longer, it does take more time to brush my locks. I noticed that. And as a freeformer, I actually don't mind brushing my scalp at all. But I know that for many of you watching out there, maybe you actually like to maintain your roots, which is great. So maybe you like to have twisted roots and you don't want to have any frizz at all. In this case, you can still do this, but what you can do is, instead of starting from the scalp section, you can actually work your way a few inches downwards and start brushing downwards this way. And that way you don't really disturb any of the hairs around your scalp, and you still get the wonderful benefits of brushing your locks. You can do this technique with shorter locks. I remember when my locks were up to here, when they're around shoulder length, I used to do that, and I found it really helpful. And over time, as it got longer, I would just grab longer sections and almost like pull them to the side and work my way down this way. So I don't think there's a specific technique at all on how to brush your locks. It just depends on what feels good for you. But this is definitely something that has worked for me. Along with the ways that I showed you on how to brush your locks, one of the things that I do like to make sure is that my locks are slightly damp when I brush my locks. I find that it works so much better on damp locks versus on dry locks. So I'm going to end this video by sharing my favorite self-care routine, and it includes lock brushing. So for me, one of the things that I look forward to at the end of the day is having some time to reflect. Time to reflect on the day, the lessons that I learned, anything that I feel grateful for. I like to spend the last few minutes before I sleep doing that. And I found that lock brushing during this time is one of the most soothing and relaxing things that I can do, as well as other things like meditating. It almost feels like a movement meditation. So what I'll do is I'll put on some relaxing music. I will have my journal in front of me. If anything comes up in my mind, I will just write it down quickly. I will have a lot of essential oils, so I'll spritz my locks with essential oils that feel very soothing, like lavender, like sandalwood, really deep kind of essential oils that are great for sleep. And I will take my time brushing my locks, just enjoying each moment. And I find that this is such a beautiful way of ending the day. And I wanted to share it with you guys in case any of you were thinking of how you could make this into a positive ritual as part of your self-care routine. And this is the way I do it. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I've tried to make it as simple as possible. But please feel free to share your experiences, your tips, your techniques with me, and how you found lock brushing in your journey. Has it worked for you? What benefits have you found? And do you have a specific technique that you like to brush your locks? Please leave your comments below and we'll all share. This is a sharing platform, so I'd love to hear it, and I'm sure many other people would love to hear your comments too. So as always, thank you for your support. Thank you for watching this video, and I will be back soon with another video sharing my journey. Take care of yourselves. Satnam.